Have you ever checked your bank account at the end of the month and thought, wait, how am I already broke? You didn't go on a shopping spree. You didn't buy a new TV or book, a vacation, just normal stuff. Groceries, a few meals out. Maybe you replaced your old phone because it was getting laggy. Nothing crazy. And yet, somehow, your balance is way lower than you expected. It's like money just evaporated. The truth is, for a lot of people, that's exactly what's happening. Not because you're irresponsible, but because the stuff we spend money on today simply isn't worth what it used to be. Prices have gone off the rails, and we've all quietly accepted it. I'm Jung. I make videos to help you understand money, why it disappears so fast, and how to finally keep more of it. If you want your money to stop vanishing on overpriced nonsense, hit that like button and subscribe because this video might sting a little. Let's start with something simple that's gotten way out of hand: fast food. There was a time when fast food was the budget-friendly option. You could grab a burger and fries for a few bucks, fill up, and move on. It wasn't great, but it was cheap and convenient. Now fast food has become a luxury you eat in your car. A combo meal at McDonald's or Burger King can easily hit $12, $15, sometimes even $20 for one person. $20 for a paper bag meal that tastes exactly like it did 10 years ago. The quality hasn't improved. The fries are still soggy, the burgers still mediocre, and yet somehow the price is doubled. The value in value meals is gone, but people keep buying them because they're convenient and because everyone else is doing it. We've been conditioned to believe that convenience justifies any price tag, but it doesn't stop there. Let's talk about eating out real restaurants this time. A decade ago, you could go out for dinner once or twice a week without wrecking your budget. It was a nice break from cooking, maybe even a small reward after a long week. Today, it's a financial trap disguised as a social outing. 2 entrees, a couple of drinks, maybe an appetizer, and suddenly, your bill is $70, $80, sometimes $100 after tip, for one meal. Not at a fancy steakhouse, not at some Michelin star restaurant, just your average mid-range place. And it's crazy when you think about it. You're spending $100 on food that disappears in an hour. It doesn't hold value, doesn't grow, doesn't help you build anything. It just goes in your stomach and vanishes from your wallet. Now, there's nothing wrong with enjoying a meal out once in a while. But when it becomes your default instead of your treat, it quietly eats your financial future. Most people who feel like they just can't save aren't wasting money on huge purchases. It's death by 1,000 little swipes, $25 here, $30 there, $80 for dinner until your paycheck is gone and you have nothing to show for it. Cooking at home isn't glamorous, but it's one of the most underrated ways to get ahead financially. You can eat well, eat healthy, and still spend a fraction of what you would at a restaurant. And when you add up the difference over months and years, we're talking about thousands of dollars money that could have been invested, saved, or used to finally buy you some breathing room. But most people never see it that way. They just see the convenience and tell themselves they deserve it. Meanwhile, their bank account tells a different story. Let's move on to something that really drives me crazy, literally. Brand new cars. Buying a new car feels amazing for about 5 minutes. You get that new car smell, the shiny paint, the touchscreen that still has plastic on it. It's a dopamine hit, pure and simple, but financially, it's one of the worst decisions most people make. The second you drive that new car off the lot, it loses roughly 20% of its value. You haven't even made it home yet, and you're already down thousands of dollars. And that's just the beginning. Every single month after that, your car keeps depreciating. Meanwhile, you're making payments on it with interest for something that's losing value faster than you can pay it off. It's the exact opposite of investing. You're spending years paying for something that will never pay you back. And what's wild is how easy it is to justify. People say things like, I deserve it, or I need something reliable. But reliability doesn't mean brand new. A car that's 3 or 4 years old, well maintained, and bought used is usually just as dependable, costs half as much, and someone else already took that brutal depreciation hit for you. But most people don't want to hear that, because the truth is, it's not about reliability, it's about status. They want people to see them in a nice car, to look like they're doing well, and that mindset is exactly what keeps them broke. If you want financial peace, learn to be okay driving something modest while your money works quietly in the background. Because the guy in the 10-year-old Toyota who's investing the difference, he's going to be rich while everyone else is still making payments. Now, let's talk about something that hits just as hard: designer clothing. I'm not saying you should dress poorly. There's real value in good quality clothes that last for years, but that's not what's happening for most people. What's happening is people are paying insane markups just to wear a logo. A plain white t-shirt from Target costs $10. The same shirt with a designer logo costs $200, same cotton. Probably the same factory. But because there's a brand name printed on it, people convince themselves it's worth it. And it's not. The only thing you're buying is the illusion of success, and that illusion fades the second your credit card bill comes due. Here's the reality. No one actually cares what brand your shirt is. Nobody's impressed by your $800 sneakers or your $2,000 handbag. You're the only one paying attention and paying the price. We've been brainwashed to think that if we wear expensive things, we'll look successful. And if we look successful, people will treat us differently. But you know what actually earns respect? Stability, discipline, confidence that doesn't need validation from a label. And this kind of spending goes deeper. It's what I call status spending. People buy luxury items, cars, watches, and clothes not because they need them, but because they want to look like they're winning. But the real winners aren't showing off. They're stacking cash, investing quietly, and living below their means. They don't need to prove anything to anyone. You'll see it everywhere: the person in the luxury SUV with no savings, the guy flashing a designer watch but drowning in credit card debt. It's all just image management, a costume of success with nothing real underneath. Here's the uncomfortable truth. If you're spending money to look rich, you'll probably never be rich. You can't build wealth and perform wealth at the same time. Every dollar you spend trying to impress people is a dollar that's not working for you. It's working for someone else, like the companies selling you the fantasy. So the next time you feel the urge to treat yourself to something shiny, ask yourself one question. Am I buying this because I want it, or because I want people to see me having it? Most of the time, that question alone will save you a ton of money. Let's talk about something that sounds harmless, but quietly drains thousands of dollars every year: vacations. Now, don't get me wrong, everyone needs time off. Getting away for a week, seeing new places, relaxing, that's all great. But the way people are doing it now, it's financially insane. Flights have doubled in price. Hotels are ridiculous. Even budget destinations cost more than a luxury trip used to. And yet, people are still booking vacations like nothing's changed, even when they can't afford it. They see everyone else posting beach photos on Instagram and think, I deserve that too. So they charge it to a credit card, promising they'll pay it off later, except later usually turns into months, sometimes years of payments plus interest. That 1 week in paradise ends up costing triple once you factor in the debt. Vacations used to be a reward for hard work. Now they've become a form of escapism, a way to feel successful, even if it's just for a few days. But here's the truth. A trip you can't afford isn't relaxing. It's expensive stress disguised as fun. If you're serious about building wealth, you don't have to give up travel. Just be smarter about it. Explore places close to home. Take shorter trips. Find value instead of luxury. Because there's nothing glamorous about paying off last summer's vacation when the next one rolls around. And speaking of things we pay for without thinking, let's talk about subscriptions. It's wild how many people are subscribed to 5 or 6 streaming services at once. Netflix, Hulu, Disney+, Amazon Prime, Max, Apple TV, you name it. Each one is $10 or $15 a month, which doesn't sound like much. But add them up and you're spending $70 to $100 every month. That's nearly $1,000 a year on TV. And here's the kicker, you're probably only watching 1 or 2 of them. The rest just sit there, quietly billing your card while you forget they exist. Then there's the gym memberships people never cancel, $50 or $60 a month. And they haven't gone in 6 months, but they keep paying because cancelling feels like admitting failure. That's another $600 a year gone. Combine that with streaming, and you've spent enough to buy an investment stock portfolio or start an emergency fund, but instead, it's going to unused subscriptions and half-watched shows. It's not just about saving, it's about awareness. Because when you stop paying attention, your money starts disappearing faster than you think. Now, if you really want to see how marketing runs people's lives, look no further than technology. A new phone drops every year, and people line up to buy it like it's oxygen. Their old phone works perfectly fine, takes good photos, runs all the same apps, but the new one has slightly better camera quality or a brighter screen. So they drop $1,000 for a feature they'll forget about in a week. It's not just phones, laptops, smartwatches, tablets, gaming consoles. Companies have trained people to believe that owning the latest version equals success. And most people don't even question it. The crazy part. The upgrades are so small now that you'd barely notice the difference. But people still buy them because they think they need to. If you just held onto your phone for 4 or 5 years instead of upgrading every 1 or 2, you could save thousands of dollars. That's real money that could be growing instead of vanishing into the hands of tech giants. And let's not forget, these devices are built to die faster now. It's called planned obsolescence. Companies literally design products to slow down or break so you'll keep buying new ones. They're not selling you technology, they're selling you a cycle of dependency. But here's the reality. Most people don't need the newest tech. Your phone, your laptop, your TV, they're already more powerful than what 99% of us actually use them for. If you can resist the urge to upgrade every time a commercial tells you to, you'll keep thousands in your pocket and break free from the hamster wheel everyone else is stuck on. The problem isn't that any one of these things, vacations, subscriptions, or tech, is evil on its own. It's that, together, they form this invisible pattern of normal overspending that keeps millions of people from ever getting ahead. It's the illusion of living comfortably when in reality, you're slowly bleeding your financial future dry. Let's be honest, most people don't actually want to be rich. They just want to look rich. That's why they buy luxury clothes, brand name sneakers, designer bags, or fancy furniture. Not because they need them, but because they want other people to notice. You see it everywhere. $300 sneakers that get replaced every 6 months. $1,000 phones inside $50 cases. People financing cars they can't afford just to post them on Instagram. It's not about the product. It's about the feeling. Because looking successful, even temporarily, gives people a dopamine hit. But here's the dark truth. The more you chase that external validation, the further you drift from actual financial freedom. Every time you buy something to impress, you lose a little bit of control over your own money. It's like renting an image of success instead of owning the real thing. And the companies know this. They've turned lifestyle marketing into a science. They don't sell products, they sell identity. You're not buying shoes, you're buying confidence. You're not buying a car, you're buying status. You're not buying coffee, you're buying belonging. The truth is, You don't need any of it. You just need to stop letting other people decide what success should look like. You don't have to buy the $5 latte every morning to feel productive. You don't have to wear a $1,000 watch to feel important. And you definitely don't need to drive a car that costs more than your yearly income just to feel respected. Because real success isn't visible. You can't see someone's emergency fund. You can't post a high credit score. You can't take a selfie with your investments. But those are the things that build actual freedom. Freedom from debt. Freedom from stress. Freedom from chasing approval. The people who seem boring, the ones driving older cars, living below their means, quietly investing, they're the ones who will eventually have everything everyone else is pretending to have. We live in a world where people go broke trying to look rich and stay broke because they can't stop. But the ones who wake up, the ones who realize that the game is rigged to keep them spending, those are the ones who break free. Because once you stop playing by their rules, you start creating your own. And that's the moment everything changes. When you realize that wealth isn't about how much you spend, it's about how much control you keep. The system doesn't need you to be rich. It just needs you to keep buying. The moment you stop, you win.